Now let's learn the letter P. P will take up the X space, the header, and will extend a little bit into the footer. We are going to start our P at the top of our header. We are going to pull a line down all the way a little bit into the footer and end it in a dot. Then we're going to pick up our pen. We are going to put it in the middle of the header. We're going to curve it down and to the left before curving back up across that line we just drew and curve it in to the middle of the X space. And we've made a capital P. Let's do that again. We're going to start at the top of our header. Pull a line down all the way to the top of our footer, end in a dot. Then we're going to pick up our pen. We're going to start in the middle of our header. Pull a curved line down, out to the left, across that line we just made, and then curve it back into that line to make a P. Make sure you leave enough space to the left of that first line you draw that you have room for that curve of the P. I'm going to do it again. Start at the top of my header. Pull a line down all the way to the start of the footer. End it in a dot. Then I'm going to create a curve on the left-hand side of that line. Curve from the header down to the X, to the right across that line, and curve into the left to finish the P. I'm going to grab some more ink. Start again at the top of my header. Pull a line down all the way to the start of the footer. End in a dot. Then I'm going to make a curve on the left-hand side of that line. Start in the header, curve down to the left, back up, cross that first line, and join it to that first line. I'm going to do that one last time here. Start at the top of my header. Pull a line down all the way to the footer and end it in a dot. Then I'm going to make a curve on the left-hand side that curves down into the left, back across that first line, pull down, end in the middle of my X space. Make capital P's all the way across that first line. Then you can move on to a lowercase p. Now this might not look like what you think of in a traditional P, but this is a proper copperplate lowercase p. This is how you do it. This P is actually going to take up the X space, the footer, and part of the header. You're going to start by pushing up an entrance stroke from the bottom of the X to the top. Then you're going to lift your pen, put it a little bit into the header, not all the way. Pull a line down all the way to the footer. Then pick up your pen, go back to the top of the X space, curve a line out to the right before pulling down, curve out to the right. That is a lowercase p. I'm going to do it again. First, I'm going to push up an entrance stroke in the X space. Lift my pen, go to the start of the header, pull a line down all the way to the footer, put my pen back on that line at the top of the X space, curve out to the right, curve down, and curve out to the right again. I'm going to do that again. Push up an entrance stroke in the X space. Starting in the header, pull down a line, go all the way to the footer. Go back to that line, top of the X space. Curve out to the right before pulling down. Curve out to the right again at the bottom of the X. I'm going to do that one more time. Push up and entrance stroke in the X space. Lift my pen, do a line from the bottom of the header all the way to the bottom of the footer. Lift my pen at the top of the X. I'm going to do a curved line out to the right, pull down, and then curve out at the bottom of the X. Please do some lowercase p's all the way across that line. In the last line on your paper, please practice whichever letter gave you the most trouble, M through P, and then you can move on to the next video.